Oh my God!
We all remember where we were. Edward Hancock was 26.
Helpless. I mean, helpless, and honestly, there was a part of me that kind of felt hopeless.
Edward knew something about hopeless.
Basically born into struggle where, you know, the doctors and most people didn't know if I was going to live, how long I was going to live.
He was born with spinal bifida and hydrocephalic, so if he survived, they said he would be a virtual vegetable. His grandmother said no.
When she heard, you know, all of this negativity and all of this news, she said, you know what, God has a plan for this boy, and she was right.
It was Granny who took him to church.
I grew up going to her church. She was my first, last, and only Sunday school teacher.
Edward wrote his first short story at 10, poetry at 14. He had found his purpose.
I knew I could write short stories, and one day I just thought, let's write a novel.
He has. It's called Morning Rain.
It's essentially the September the 11th attacks coming to small town East Texas.
Instead of the World Trade Center, terrorists hit 6 small towns at once.
A case where terrorists attacked the Longview Police Department. God, I swear, if we get out of this, I'm never pinning on a badge again.
The book's hero is a retired cop who begins to investigate and finds his family kidnapped.
To more or less try to make him back off. You know, like if you back off, you know, we'll spare your family. And he's like, you know, he's smart enough to know that no, they won't. They'll show up in pieces. So,
pushed to the brink, Alex begins to discover God.
My family is waiting. Let's move. Dear Lord, he prayed silently. Please let me be ready for this. And so we see the seeds of faith being planted in Alex and how he really realizes how much he needs God in his life by the end of the story.
Out for about a year now, Morning Rain has been well received.
Diversion, or a good switch from the New York crime story. It's as Texas born and Texas bred, and that seems to be what they're liking.
Edward is convinced Granny would like it too. After all, it was this praying grandmother years ago who believed this little boy had a purpose.
I got to live my life and really make good on that promise, on her prophecy, if you will, that God had a plan for me. I've got a purpose, and I've got to make good on it.
The book is called Morning Rain. I'm told it's selling pretty well on Amazon, and you can ask your local bookstore to pick it up for you. I haven't read it yet, but I'll tell you this, I do believe in praying grandmothers, and I do believe in the purpose-driven life. With a promise of hope, I'm Rick Rowe.